welcome to the very first, okay, I wouldn't call it the very first, I'll call it like, well, it's like the first episode of With the Hustle after such a long time. And, we had to put one or two things together. I had to put one or two things together. But I'm right here, and I'm so excited to be back at this, talking about business, sharing my experience, learned so far, and of course, getting feedback from you concerning the various topics we'll be talking about. I am Adekemi Adefisayo, and it's good to be back. So something has been happening in recent times, especially in this part of the world in Nigeria. Everyone has been all about get a skill, you need to be empowered, you need to have something you can do for yourself so you can, fend for yourself and your family. You're not dependent on the government, you're not dependent on, jobs coming or not, and the list is on and on and on. First of all, I would like to state the fact that getting a skill doesn't in any way mean that you're not still going to be broke. You're not still going to be in the same square zero that you've always been in, or you're not still going to be in search of jobs if you do not know how to monetize the skills. And that's why we're going to be talking about 5 things you need aside just having a skill to help you make a business out of what you've come to learn. Now, it's a good thing. First of all, you've gotten a skill, yeah, right? So you have something that can help you produce. You have something that you can render to other people, something valuable that can in turn get you money. But that is just one phase, one level of being empowered. You need to have that skill. You need to have business knowledge. You need to apply it. All these 3 things working together is what gets you really, really empowered. All right, so we're going to be going straight into the deal of the day. I've got 5 things on my list which I'm going to be talking about. 5 things you need to know and you need to do, you need to apply in line with that skill you already have in whatever industry you might be in, be it tech, agric, hair business, you know how to make shoes, you're into makeup, you've come up with a radical idea. If that is the case, these are key things you need to know to move forward to the next level of being empowered, and most importantly, making money. Okay, so let's move on quickly now to the very first thing. I am Adekemi Adefisayo. Now, on my list, the number 1 thing is you need to be niched. At times you talk to people and you say, oh, who are you selling to? And they're like, everybody now. Anybody that wants to make hair, anybody that wants to buy shoes, anybody that wants to get agricultural products, anybody that wants to build a website. That's good, right? Everybody can indeed be your customer, but it's very important that you are niched. You have a particular focus, a group that you really are targeting. Is it the students? Is it the corporate world? Is it, there are many ways to be niched, and I'm going to be talking about how. Now, the first way to be niched is gender. So you're either telling yourself, I'm going for the ladies or I'm going for the guys. Now, the second way could be age-wise. Am I going for the elderly ones? Am I going for the teenagers? Am I going for the working class? Am I going for children? Great. Another thing to do is, or another way which you could be niched, which you could create a niche for yourself as a skilled person, as someone going into the business, is asking yourself, do I want to go for the people in the higher income level cadre, or I want to go for those who are average, they're quite comfortable, or I want to go for those who are the bottom end of the chain? Where do I want to go for when it comes to the income these people make? Because it also determines who patronizes your product. It also determines the price tag you would put on your product. Getting niche also determines how you would publicize and how you would get entry into that market. So you then begin to innovate, you then begin to create advertisements, you then begin to brand, you then begin to tailor your products or your services to fit into that market, instead of when you're just hovering anywhere. If this one comes, you give them. If that one comes, you give them. What do you want to be known for? When a student, for instance, thinks about shoes or clothes or tech, who do they think about next? When you get niched, it's also easy to have a unique selling point around that. So the first thing you need to do is get niched. Now, the second thing on my list is you need to create a brand experience. How do people feel when they come in contact with you? Brand experience and packaging. Let me make that my number 2 point. You need to create a brand experience. You need to realize as a business owner that most sales are driven by emotions, right? People feel a kind of way. There's just something that just, when I think about Jaye Enterprises, this is how I feel. Or when I think about Stella Clothing, there should be something they feel. Do you treat them like kings and queens? Is there a way you make them welcome? Do they always leave with a smile? Do you always give them something special? I heard of a lady who would tell you, no problem, come and patronize me. I will take care of your transportation. Now, that is something that is particular to her brand. Not everyone does that. So you need to be able to create something around your brand that people can always remember, even when they're not there and they're like, you know what, no, we need to go back to this person. We need to patronize her when we want to have these products bought or when we want to get these services rendered. And another thing is packaging. Trust me, packaging goes a long way. I won't lie. I won't even lie to you. Like when something looks good, be it the products that you have or the ambience of your office as a service provider or someone who sells even, there's a way it just makes it ring again. Like I said, there are lots of emotional things that happen when people want to patronize you as a business person. So how it looks, how would you package it? When people come to buy stuff from you, do you just get one black nylon and you just tie it and you're like, take? You're like, okay. And the next person selling that same product will be like, oh, thank you for coming. We really appreciate. And they get this white, lovely nylon or a carton and they just pack it up for them and they're like, oh, wow, this is really, touche. Let me use that word. This is really good. This is well packaged. You need to package yourself. As a skilled person, package your business, package the end product, brand right. How do you appear before your client? All these things go a long way to causing a client to remember you or not. You either attend to a client in a way that makes them want to come back or you don't. And you need to realize that's why they say to every one client, you have 10 more attached to them. You treat them so good that next time they tell their friends and their friends tell their friends, and there's just this feeling, oh wow, my friend patronizes them. I'm talking from experience. When, the laundry started, there were many people who came patronizing because a friend told another friend, and a friend told another friend, oh, these guys are good, they'll deliver quality work, and they're also quite affordable. And they're like, okay, well, if you trust them, then I would too. Now, that's that emotional connection. That's that psychological, that's that influence, that also comes to play in business. You need to create a brand experience. There should be something people look forward to, something they can always remember when they think about your brand. Now, moving on to the number 3 thing, bookkeeping. At times as SMEs, we just think, money is coming in, money is going out. Business is running itself. I've recovered my capital. That is good enough. Sorry. No. That could actually, the fact that that is all you think about and that's how you see yourself running a business, or that's how you currently run a business, could be the very reason why you would end up losing investors, you would end up losing grants, you would end up losing many things that should come through for your business. It's very important that you keep your records properly, especially financial records, because that is what gives you the upper hand when you're talking, for instance, to an investor, or you are even assessing your business. It keeps you ahead, right? So you know what is obtainable, and no one can just cheat you or play a fast one on you when you're not present. You need to keep the books right. What comes in on a daily? What expense? What do we expend money on daily? You analyze that weekly, you analyze that monthly, you go through that all through the year. When do we have our peak periods for income? When do we have our expenses highest the most? You put all these things in play And that's one way of helping you really understand your business properly, and it could also help you project. So you know what could happen in another 2 3 years financially. And when you're talking and when you're making plans, you know how to put these things in check. So if you've not been keeping the books, I tell you, you're going to be revolving in a circle. You're just going to be going around in circles, and that really isn't a good thing when you're starting a business you really want to monetize, and not just monetize, but also grow to be a reputable brand. You need to put that in check. Now, moving on to the fourth thing on the list: being so good they can't ignore you. I've heard complaints like, so I started this business, or I started selling this, or I started rendering this service. Can you imagine? You've been my friend for 5 years and you've not even patronized me for once. Why would I, when you're not doing something really exceptional, something that would really draw me to you, something different from what the next person is doing? I mean, you're just doing the same thing every other person is doing, the same way every other person is doing. That really would also get you so far as a skilled person. In whatever industry, in whatever market you find yourself, you need to have your watchword be excellence. Perfect or nothing. It might seem harsh on your staff. I remember some 2 3 years ago, it was almost like that for me. My partner then would say, you can't get it to 100%. Okay, fine, I won't get it 100%, but let me get it to 99.9%. Is that too much to ask for? Now, fine, you could give room for mistakes, learn from them. That shouldn't stop you, from trying out new things, but it's got to be good. It's got to be excellent. It only takes you to sleep on your services or your products or how you do business once. Like, just do like, and be nonchalant for once, for like just this little moment, and a very dogged competitor comes along and just overtakes you. And you don't want that. You want to be ahead as much as you can. You want to be at the top of your game. And so you need to be so good that when they think about a particular niche, they think about a particular service, they think about a particular product, the next name that comes to mind in your immediate vicinity is you. If you've not been able to attain that, then you have a really, really long way to go. You don't want to be sleeping. Like, the market is not sleeping. It's a very, very a bloody concrete jungle we're in. Like, lots of people are doing the same thing. You need to be able to do it in a way that people would remember you. Finally, the fifth thing I'm going to be talking about is, it's easy to want to start and you want to count your hundreds of thousands or your millions the next month or the next 2 months. As much as it's possible to do so, you really need to be patient, because trust me, when I started, I thought I was going to be counting my hundreds of thousands in like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, with the laundry and the cleaning services and the likes of it. I didn't count any hundred, anything till like the 12th month. That was when we broke even and the business started running itself and things started falling in place gradually. So you could get angry, tired, you could, because trust me, you will. Business is not as glam and fancy as the CEO title. That CEO means more work for you. So basically, you need to really be patient with yourself, with your growth level, and you need to understand the business you're in. Some business would give you results in 3 months, 4 months. Some other businesses, just like they say, when you plant corn, it would take, say, 6 months thereabouts to produce fruits, and you then harvest. But when you're going to go into cashew and you're going to go into other cash crops, it's going to take way more time. And business is exactly the same thing. There are certain businesses that would give you results, deliver your profit, return on investment in a few months. There are some that would take way longer, 8 months, 1 year, 2 years. You need to be patient. As long as you've done the necessary things, the business is value adding, it's viable, you've done your feasibility study, you've done your market survey, people need this, people are patronizing, then you should give it time to grow. You should give it time for the market to really get used to it. And that would need patience from you. Now, once you're able to put all these 5 things together, get niched, keep the books well, create the right brand experience, package, guy. packaging goes a long way. And then of course you're so good, like people think about you, and then they just want to tell more people to keep coming. Referrals, word of mouth can only come when you deliver really excellent service, or you sell. Yes, even when you sell products, you're still rendering services. How? Because the product is like, okay, you're giving this person quality stuff, but what happens all through the process before they get the product? Your contact person, how accessible are you, how do you respond to them? All these things come together to form the business. So don't just say, oh, I'm into products, so why do I need to create a brand experience? It goes a long way. A brand experience is not just, when you're rendering service, how you interact with them, how accessible are you, when they call, how prompt are you to respond, when they need you, are you there? How do you respond to their complaints? So many things are involved, but we only have time for these few ones that I've made mention of. Put them into consideration, and trust me, in no time you'll be able to make, some real good money from this skill that you've had. And I should also really leave this quickly with you. As much as you're branding, you're creating a brand experience, you're getting niched, your target, you're targeting them really good, talking about publicity, you're being so good they can't ignore you, you're keeping your books right. Another thing you really should also do is leverage on people. I would say this almost in every video I have. That would be your greatest asset. Your network, people around you, you want to make the most of them. You want to take advantage of them. Do not be silent. I mean, if you're not talking about it, how would I know you do what you do? You need to be able to open up. You need to be able to tell the next person. As many people, be your hype man. Simply put, be your hype man. Put it on your DP. Put it on your social media accounts. Talk about it every chance you get. And when something is good, it's good. If it's not good, it's not good. There's no two way about it. So when you're doing everything right, and you're not exploiting people, and you're adding value, trust me, in no time, in a few months, things are going to go from good to better and best. Small, medium, and who knows, in the nearest future, a really major company that is also going to be employing people in time to come. So that's the most of what we'll be sharing on this episode of With the Hustle. We're going to keep grinding. Trust me, someday, real soon, we'll pop. So don't quit. Cry if you want to. I cry at times, like a lot of times. So do as many things you need to be comfortable with yourself, but do not quit on that idea. As much as you know it's valuable, as much as you know it's helping lives, as much as you know it can be monetized, then please keep at it. Have a very, very lovely day, and of course, enjoy the rest of the week.